Good morning. Yes, it is a new edition of Caffeine Corner where we talk about critical thinking while heavily caffeinated. This actually is not too caffeinated. I got to admit, I'm going with instant today. Usually I go in a nice full pot of coffee, like a nice Folgers French roast or a light roast because it's more caffeine than a dark roast. Or I got some Maxwell House the other day, and I'm telling you, it was actually really good. But this is actually Nescafe, which is one of my favorite instants. So if you guys like some instant coffee, go with a Nescafe, just one heaping teaspoon. Put in whatever sweetener of your choice. I have like artificial sweetener, some sugar. It's fine. Honey is really good. You can pretty much put anything into it. I would put it normally like a shot of whiskey or Bailey's Irish Cream or something is good in that, but I got to go to work today. Sorry. But anyways, let me know if you guys can hear me fine. I have kind of tweaked my audio a little bit. So a couple people the other day noticed that the audio was a little off, that it was not down mixing to mono. I think I fixed all that, at least for now, but you know how it goes when it comes to the audio, kind of goes in and out. So let me know before I kind of get into this. So we're going to be talking about some critical thinking. That's what we do on this particular show. And in this particular case, it's going to be very specific to one of the newer content creators out there. Somebody who I really, straight up know absolutely nothing about for the most part. I don't watch their stuff. I think I watched a few minutes the other day. Couldn't understand what the hell she was talking about, nor did I really care. The only reason she's even somebody of relevance is because she has mentioned my name a few times. AKC talks about her. Veda talks about her. But other than that, I really don't know this person very well, nor do I care, because all I've ever seen from her is clips from various things she's talked about, and I've noticed this particular pattern on these clips that's very similar to patterns we've seen with other people, especially aka UNIRock. This is why I think this person nonsense is also known as UNIBeck, if I can call her that if VKC lets me use it, right? Aaron came up with that. So UNIBeck, I do like that. I call her UNIRock 2.0, but whatever. UNIBeck works. But this particular graphic here, this was done by Penelope's Lane, who, again, somebody I really know nothing about. She's really nice to me overall. I mean, she commented on some of my stuff, and I've commented back to her, but I don't think I've had any real interaction with her. No real interaction at all. So I didn't really get a chance to ask her if I could use her graphic. I apologize, but it's in public domain. It's fair use, but I don't think she would have a problem with it. This is her graphic. She did come up with this. And when I saw this, I was like, man, this is good. This is really good. This is something that I've seen with multiple people, not just nonsense, but other people that use this very same cycle of nonsense. And that works really well, right? Cycle of nonsense about nonsense on the web 2.0. That I think is something we should probably talk about, because if you want to recognize these behaviors of people, this is how you go about doing it. So anyways, welcome everybody out there. By the way, I see some names out there. Autistic Shill, thank you. April and Ryan, thank you, my mods. I see some Just James and Captive Desk. So, and I see John out there. Appreciate it, guys. If you guys want to share this video, please do so. Like I said, I don't get a lot of views on these particular shows any longer, which is fine. But you know what? I do enjoy doing them still, and I do them for you guys as much as I do myself, and I get to get caffeine. All right, so let's kind of dive into this, and then you guys want to participate through the live chat, by all means. Hi, Rhonda Smith. How are you today? All right, so the cycle of nonsense is a behavioral pattern, it looks like, that somebody goes through in a circular motion, very much like a cycle of abuse, or the cycle of abuse, the most domestic abuse, where you have this pattern of behavior where you have like the honeymoon stage, you have the violent stage, the explosive stage, and things of that nature, where a person will repeat this pattern over and over again, and the victim kind of goes through it. Abuse by proxy is a similar thing, where you have a pattern of somebody who fabricates some kind of narrative. They get all their people behind them to rally them up for the common goal, to fight for justice and truth and go after the evil people. And they're sending their flying monkeys after the victim, and the victim just gets, this abuse by the victims, or gets abused by the flying monkeys of the narcissists. So abuse by proxy, it's called. And so that cycle of abuse by proxy is very reminiscent of what we see from narcissists. We see, and again, by the way, let me make it very clear, I'm not an expert on any of these topics that I'm talking about today. This is completely my own view from a person who has some courses in contemporary rhetoric, informal logical thinking. I've written a little bit about logic, But other than that, know nothing about psychology, don't ever claim to be, so don't take my word for anything other than my pure opinion and speculation. This is not a show for gaining any kind of expertise in anything. Hi, Maddie. I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you. But again, the abuse by proxy cycle, when you have the narcissist getting their troops together, sending the flying monkeys over to abuse the victim, is something we see quite frequently. And this is something that's Nonsense and the rest of them have done. But I like the way Penelope did the cycle of nonsense here in a little bit more cohesive and explanatory way. And so I'm going to just go in by the numbers here. So she starts off number 1, angered. Becky gets triggered. Now, everybody knows Nonsense's first name is Becky. This isn't doxing because we know that Penelope, we know that, sorry, Penelope, we know that Nonsense and UNIRock love the word dox. That's their favorite word. Dox. You said my name, dox. Oh, you sent me a letter, dox. They have no idea what a dox is, and they just use it as some kind of weapon because they have absolutely no understanding of what a dox actually is, or if they do, they just don't care. So, but that's her name, Becky, and she gets easily triggered. And I've noticed this because on the clips that I have seen, there's just weird feigned indignation, this weird, almost over-the-top anger that Becky seems to have. It's almost like a performance art to me. I'm not saying she doesn't actually, get upset by things. I think that, anybody on YouTube actually has some real outrage on certain things, and we all get upset. But hers seems to be a lot more contrived, a lot more fabricated, at least to me. Again, my own opinion. It's a little bit hyperbolic. I mean, she gets angered so easily over the silliest things. I mean, she's claiming she's doxxed, and UNIRock's claiming he's doxxed, and she's going off on Veda, she's going off on Aaron, but she never actually explains why she's mad at Veda or Aaron. She's just, they're just not good people, or the things they've done over there. But every time I listen to Nonsense, and again, this is almost exclusively from EKC's channel, damn you, EKC. But all the clips that I've seen when I watch these reviews of her, it's always, EKC and her ilk, or Veda and her clan, they're so evil, they've done this, that, and that, and I'm so angry about them, and I'm like, what have they done? I mean, what is this need you have to have this perpetual anger? I do a lot of videos, I do a lot of shows, I do a lot of panels. I'm not even angry that much. I mean, you know when I get angry, it's rare. It's rare. I mean, the last time I really saw red, as they say, when you're angry, was the stream that I did when UNIRock came over and I had to remove my headphones, and I was just like, this guy's just bird dogging me, and I really was upset. I'm not even gonna try to hide that. I was angry. I was like frustrated. But other than that, I don't really get angered in a way that I'm going to go, I just want to go beat up the person. I get frustrated. I think we all do as YouTubers, and even people that listen to these things get frustrated. But there's no real sense of anger there because we're just commenting on things. And sure, many of them are personal. I do get that. But with her, everything is personal. Everything is, what they've did to her, what it wasn't the fact that these flying monkeys from other people like UNIRock and Katie Joy have done these things to other people, but all of a sudden now they're doing it to her because she's saying she has all these things she's going through, yet she's already signed off on them when these people did it to other people. But she's angry about that now. She's upset that people have done this or that to her, never really explaining who did what, and I'm still confused of who's doing what. I don't know who doxed her. She says this person did, that person did. They've gone in real life. They've had some CPS calls or something. I don't know the details. I really don't. Nor do I really care. But she just seems to live in this perpetual state of anger. As Mocking Media says, persecution complex. I think that would be normally the case for somebody who really does think everything will be a slight against them. There are people out there that anything you say to them, they're going to take personal. Anything you say to them is going to be a slight. That is a persecution complex. I don't think that's the case with Nonsense. And again, this is my pure opinion. And I have a very limited data set because, again, I don't really know much about her. And I certainly haven't really never gone to her channel and watched it. Besides the other day, I watched one of her videos for a little while. It was a long video and I couldn't take more than maybe 15 minutes. I'm like, no, no, can't do it. But I do see her clips through other channels. But I don't think it's persecution with her because, to me, everything seems so contrived. A person who has a persecution complex seems to really just believe that the world is out to get them, that everybody in the world just for some reason has this negative view towards them. I don't see that with nonsense. She knows there are people that have negative views toward her, EKC, Veda, myself, and other people, but those don't seem to make her like as angry as she is when she starts talking about things like Molly Golightly, or just Veda or EKC as people. That seems to get her ire up for some reason. But again, she never really gives details of what she's angry about that I've seen. And again, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just that I don't watch her enough to know what their details are. But every time I've asked anybody, and you can see when I go into other panels and other live chats, I've said, hey, what is it that Nonsense is angry about? I can never get a straight answer. And it's not because they're unwilling to. It's because they don't know. I believe that. I talked to Heels in the Air last night on the live chat. She was actually very nice. I'm very civil. We had a very cordial back and forth. I think that maybe I had a misconception of some kind about her relationship to Nonsense, and I did apologize for that. I still do. I apologize if I misread the situation with Heels in the Air and Nonsense and the Good Nyanya, and I walked that back, and I like I said, I completely apologized to her. And we had a really nice kind of back and forth on the live chat. But I was asking her, what is it that Nonsense really is angry about? What is it that she thinks that Aaron and I have done or Veda have done? And again, I still don't know the answer to that. If somebody is willing to let me know what the answer to that question is, I will have you on right now. Just let me know. I'll give you a link. Yeah, no, I think Mocking Media, I think you're right on there. Wrong diagnosis, BS cells complex, correct. I absolutely think that's the case. And that's funny you mentioned that because that gets into some of the other numbers here that we're getting into. So, hi, Tina. Welcome to Caffeine Corner, where we get caffeinated and talk about critical thinking. Usually in that order. Okay, so we all understand that for some reason, Becky lives in this perpetual state of anger. Number 2, obsessive stalking. Becky watches hundreds of hours of her praise content activity on YouTube and social media, which is kind of funny because the clip that I did watch, or wasn't even the clip, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure it was when I actually watched a video directly from her channel because it's so rare, but I think this was there. But I could be wrong. It could have been a clip. But she was saying she doesn't have time to watch anything. She doesn't investigate anything. She doesn't review any claims. She even said in a clip, and this was a clip, that she didn't really know anything about Aaron and myself as far as, what she's angry about. She's even said, they do some shady stuff, but she didn't really have time to investigate that shady stuff or that evil stuff or whatever she's pontificating upon. I'm like, well, everybody else is saying that all you do is watch these videos and learn about your prey and sit there for 6 and 7 and 8 hours talking about these people all day long, 24/7. There is just some channels out there that stream all day long, and that's fine. People have done that. I had some longer streams back in the day. People do remember that. And they said, hey, Steve, you really need to kind of shave your content down. These 4 or 5 hour videos are fun, but there's no way somebody could sit through them. And I agreed with them 100%. I'm like, look, I'd rather have a 90-minute or a 2-hour video that people can sit and watch in one sitting. And if they watch it at 1.5 speed or 2 speed, I speak quickly, so 2 speed is probably not going to work for you. But 1.5 speed is fine, I think, if you want to watch my videos on that, because that's how I watch everybody else's videos. I mean, everybody sounds like a chipmunk to me. But she watches hundreds of hours of videos, supposedly. I mean, she has to. She always talks about Molly Golightly before Molly Golightly lost her channel, in partly due to Nonsense and other people, I think. But she has to watch a lot of that content because she seems to always be streaming about them. I don't have time for that. I don't. I work full time. I'm going to work here, today. I'm doing this before I go to work. I literally. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm lazy nowadays when it comes to doing stuff like this. I do recycle other people's content as Nonsense was complaining about other people, and as long as it's fair use, that's perfectly fine. I will get some video that somebody's done that I like. I'll promote that video. I'll do commentary on that video, and if that video is a review of another video, that's fine too. It's Inception. Nothing wrong with that. Perfectly fine by TOS and YouTube. Nothing wrong with that. And there's a lot of people that do that stuff. I never claimed that I was very creative. Okay, don't come to me for creativity stuff. That's why I found this graphic by Penelope Lane, which I thought was brilliant. I thought this was great. And again, give her full props. Go subscribe to Penelope Lane. And again, if you see her, thank her for doing this. April, you watch my stuff at 2 times speed. How can you? I talk pretty quickly most of the time. I'm trying to slow it down nowadays because people have said to me, hey, you speak really quickly. And we do like your voice. I've had a few people lately say they like my voice. And that makes me feel good. I admit that. I get a little blush. But I know I speak quickly because I have a lot to get out. And my brain thinks very quickly. I've always been like that. I have lousy handwriting. And I was told that the reason why I have lousy handwriting is I think quickly. And I think people know that after 3,000 videos, that's just my work. But I'm okay with that. But I am trying to slow it down so it's a little bit more intelligible, a little bit more articulate in some of the things I say, because I know I can ramble and mispronounce words. It's fine. I don't take those things personally. But I cannot sit through hundreds of hours of content. I can't sit there and watch nonsense videos 24 hours a day or even a single one. Anything over 2 hours for most videos I won't even watch. I like the videos that are 15 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes, hour. Like I said, if it's 2 hours, I could put it on 1.5 speed. I lay down and listen to it with my earbuds, and I'm good. But these 3, 4, 5 hours, not a chance. There's just so much content, and it's not just me. There's other people who recognize that as well. I don't know how people like Aaron do it. I don't know how people like Veda do it. I don't know how people like I know Truth Sleuth. She listens to a lot of content. I just especially like Llama Girl. Oh my God, how does Llama Girl do it? By the way, yeah, buy Llama Girl some coffee. Llama Girl is amazing for how much content she has to sit through to give clips to people on Twitter. So yeah, April's like I find 2 times speed helps get people to the point. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, obviously if people are trying to make a point and they're talking very slowly or they're going down these rabbit holes, and yeah, I get that. You want to get there really quick. I don't know if Penelope's on YouTube. I mean, she has a YouTube channel and she still has commented. She just commented me just recently on YouTube, but all her videos are comments off. And she has no Twitter presence and she has no email. So I really didn't have any way to communicate with her other than just tag her on a community post, which I did. So, but yeah, so this obsessive stalking, this is again, somebody who's looking for content to just criticize people and just be outraged and just have this feigned indignation. I don't understand how that is content. Look, I don't mind criticism videos. I don't mind people saying, hey, look, I saw your video. I don't agree with it. Let me tell you why. I do a lot of those. A lot of them. However, I also have videos on other topics. What video does nonsense have that isn't critical of somebody? Could somebody tell me? Does nonsense ever have a video explaining something like physics or calculus or anything? I've got math videos. I've got videos on calculus. I've got videos talking to younger creationists. I've got videos talking to flat earthers. I've done videos on biology. What does she have? I mean, her entire presence just seems to be one big angry person on YouTube, just being critical people that she's never talked to. There's nothing about. She's never talked to me. The one time she said, hey, Steve, if you ever listen to this, reach out to me. I'll talk to you. And I'm like, oh, okay. If somebody let me know about. And so I contact her the next day and she's like, nope, don't want to talk to you. I'm like, okay, well then you're just dishonest. At that point, I was realized that I was dealing with somebody who was not an honest interlocutor. Not an honest agent. Oh yes, please. Thank you, Autistic Shill. Yes. I'm absolutely hard at self-promotion, so I have Autistic Shill, and she's amazing at it. She does it for a lot of different channels. If you need a mod and she's available, Autistic Shill is your person. She's an incredible mod. Thank you for that. Yes, comment, like, and subscribe. Appreciate it. And I will be posting, if I do, I'm sure I'll do more of these Caffeine Corner videos. And so if you like that, I have reinstated the Caffeine Corner Twitter. I don't know if I put it in the video description. I probably should have. But if you go to Caffeine, if you look up Caffeine Corner on Twitter, you'll find it, and you just follow there. So yeah, I do think that's obsessive stalking, and I do think that is somebody who's just scouring the internet for content because they don't really have anything original. I don't think Nonsense has said a word of anything that I've ever heard of any original thought. It's just bad. You're bad. They're bad people over there. Molly Golightly, bad person. And then they start twisting and changing things, and I'm like, I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. Last night when I was over at EKC's channel, by the way, if you haven't watched EKC's video last night, go watch it. It's very short. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. But it was a short video. It was only about an hour, and it was before I went to bed, so I could finish it. Thank you. But it was really good because the video was about Nonsense, and there were some parts about it that Nonsense was talking, and we all just went, what is she talking about? Because her historical revisionism is incredible. She's like, oh, back in the day when EKC and Steve and this, and I'm like, back in those days, EKC wasn't even around. She didn't come in the scene later on. I mean, it seems like Aaron has been around forever. I get that, right? Yeah, I understand. But believe it or not, Aaron is not that old as far as the OGs are concerned. She's only, I would say, 2-3 years at most. Which, hey, good on her for getting such a presence, and I adore her content, and I love her entitlement translation videos. But when people tell me that she was around in the days that she wasn't around, you didn't do your due diligence, like she claims. And that's just like I do my due diligence, but I don't have time to watch this stuff. I don't have time to investigate. Pick a lane. Do you do your due diligence, or do you not have time to do your due diligence? It's one or the other. This seems to be mutually exclusive to me. But it does seem like she watches a lot of stuff just to gain some content to go back to number one, her feigned indignation, her anger. Yeah, I call Nonsense rambling words. Condescending channel. Yes. Hi, Booty Shots. Welcome back. Booty Shots is relatively new to this side of the internet. I'm not sure which community Booty Shots came from, but I guess they came over here and liked my stuff, so cool. I appreciate it. All right, number 3. Let's move on here. Tina says, I want to understand why y'all giving them any attention. Please tell me. That's a great question. We don't usually give these people attention. But I think right now, because a lot of things are coming to light, that we need to remind people that these are the things that people do. So these people like Nonsense and UNIRock don't go harming other people. Right? Because we all know what happened with Letitia. We all know what happened with Molly Golightly. We know that they are actively trying to go after people. This is what they do. They target people. And so I think talking about them as a collective, then people are being forewarned should they go to other communities and start this stuff up again. We already know that UNIRock's playbook is to go to community to try to cull and cultivate. We've talked about that before on Caffeine Corner. Culling and cultivating is when people will cultivate people that agree with them and think like them. And generally, like when it comes to people like UNIRock and Nonsense, they want to cultivate the people that have low morals, so to speak. They want to have people that have questionable integrity. They want to cultivate the sociopaths, or more importantly, the people that don't know how to ask the relevant questions, the correct questions to ask if you want to get to the bottom of things. And that's something on Caffeine Corner that we've talked about many times, about how to go about probatively finding out things, how to apply critical thinking. And I think they cultivate those types. And then they call the people that start asking those types of questions they don't want asked. And they call the people that have been around for a long while. They call the people that know too much, because they recycle people all the time, because people either A, catch on to their playbooks, or B, they always known all along that these people were doing some shady stuff, but they co-signed on it and they signed off on it, but it got so bad that the heat was on that they decided to jump ship like sinking, rats from a sinking ship. And I think that's what's happening with UNIRock. I think even his most loyal, diehard people that know for a fact that he just goes around smearing people have to jump ship, because even they can't be around somebody that has that much I guess, I don't want to demonetize this quickly, so I won't use the word poo-poo. That much poo-poo being flung in their direction, right? Because when you get poo-poos flung in a fan, what happens? It goes everywhere. That's what I think that they're afraid of, because there's just no explanation for what Uni did. It was so egregious that even they said, hey, look, we're going to find some other crappy person to go follow and worship and be their flying monkeys. Yeah, that's what they do. They just find some overlord that they want to be their flying monkey to. Booty Shot says it's a visual circle of drama. I've listened to all sides and tried to remain neutral, but damn, it tests my last nerve. Yeah, and I'm glad that people do listen, and I'm glad that people are paying attention. And by the way, I have not noticed. Is my chat coming up at all on the live chat, on the live feed? I don't know. I had to do a lot of rework on this layout. Let me see real quick. Yeah, I guess it is coming up, but it's just like one line at a time, 2 lines at a time, or 3 lines at a time. Yeah, that's okay. Needs a little tweaking, but it works. I didn't have much space. I wanted you guys to see this, so I didn't make the live chat as large as I normally do on the video itself. Okay, so number 3. Fake narrative. Becky creates the lie she will tell with zero proof. Now, the thing I've noticed when it comes to people making these fake narratives is most of them don't seem to be the ones creating the fake narrative themselves. They seem to always get it from somebody else that's really truly the behind the scenes person. And in this particular case, I think that UNIRock and Katie Joy are the 2 primary people that spread the fake narratives. I don't know Nancy's originality. I don't know her creativity level when it comes to being able to just randomly create a fake narrative, because I've never heard her explain her fake narratives. I've never heard her have a coherent fake narrative that even makes sense to me. She's just rambling on about what other people have told her. About Letitia, about the GoFundMes, and these stupid fraudulent fundraisers that people think that people have. Which, by the way, UNIRock has never done any single solitary actual work on. He's never exposed anything. For anybody who's been around for a very long time, there was actually only one fundraiser that was fraudulent, and myself and other people actually donated to that fundraiser, and that was a fraud raiser. And we got the money back. I have emails from GoFundMe to get that money back, and it was somebody who lied to the community. And you know what the community did? They ostracized that person, and nobody's, I think, spoken to them since, because they used the community to get money under false pretense. We not just eschew that, we condemn it outright. Because this person had claimed they had cancer when they didn't have it, and that's just beyond disgusting. Yeah, that's morally egregious to do that. And then people took that and said, oh, since there was one person doing it, everybody else must have been running these fraudulent GoFundMes and stuff like that. Come to find out, not a single other person, not one. If anybody does an investigation on any of these, they know that all of them were legit except that one. But they were like, oh, we've got one, let's go apply it to many. Oh, no, you know what? I'm sorry. I am wrong. There was 2 fraudulent GoFundMes. There was Kyle Curtis's fraudulent GoFundMe that UNIRock promoted in order to get Kyle Curtis a lawyer. Remember that? That was a fraudulent one because Kyle lied to the court. Kyle filed paperwork under false pretense. I'm sorry, but that's fraudulent. He said that I was doing things I didn't do. He needed money to fight me for things I didn't do. That's fraudulent. I don't know how else you can think otherwise. But I don't know exactly how much of this fake narratives comes from nonsense originally as compared to other people that say these things. So I don't know if she creates the lie as much as perpetuates it. I really don't know. However, neither really matters to the point that she promotes these fake narratives. She'll say, oh, this GoFundMe was fraudulent. Letitia got money under false pretense. She didn't get a lawyer. There was never a restraining order. I'm not going to go the whole details of the Marvon McRae case, but for those who've been around, they know that it was Katie Joy that basically started this bizarre narrative that Letitia, the mother of Marvon McRae, needed money to see her son, and it was that for some reason she didn't spend the money where it's supposed to go, which she did. We found out she did bring receipts, but long story short, Letitia didn't want to have anything to do with Katie Joy, so Katie Joy did what Katie Joy always does. She just went full Katie on her and just unleashed the wrath of Katie, and that means that she basically will lie, get her flying monkeys to go after them, and will create these fake narratives. And of course, nonsense ran with that. But again, I really can't speak on which narratives nonsense came up with herself, as opposed to just getting them from other people and reusing that content. I wish I could. I can't. So, but I can say that every narrative that she's talked about, she's provided zero proof. And I mean proof here is just an evidence, not as a logical proof. But I never see her bring receipts for anything. And anything she does supposedly bring receipts on is completely warped in how her interpretation of it is. But she never brought receipts that Letitia had any kind of fraudulent GoFundMe. She never had any receipts that myself or Aaron have done anything wrong, or Veda. I haven't seen anything. If she thinks that I or Aaron or Veda have done something wrong, all three of us will address it head on. If you think that we have done something unethical, let us know. If you think we have done something illegal, especially let us know, because of course you had Katie Joy saying that we had done all kinds of illegal stuff. UNIRock said we did all kinds of illegal stuff, but never once was able to even remotely even come close to having any shred of evidence of any of those things, because they were fabricated narratives. They were fake narratives. And this is what I'm saying. I don't know where the lines, where the lines of demarcation is between their narratives, such as from UNIRock and Katie Joy, as opposed to Becky. I don't know. They seem to be all blenderized, so to speak. But I do know that nonsense has never once showed a shred of evidence that myself, Aaron, or Veda have done anything wrong. And of course, I'm more concerned about myself. Veda and Aaron can take care of themselves. I'm not their flying monkey. They're my friends, and I get along with them, and I love their content. But I know if somebody goes after them, they can fend for themselves. I don't need to be their white knights. And likewise towards me, they defend me because they know I'm right, and I defend them because I know they're right. But if somebody can show me that they've done something wrong, let me know. And what I do is I go to them directly. I go to them and I will ask them, hey, what about this? I don't think everything needs to be made public, especially when there's just accusations. That just makes it fodder. But if I thought to myself, hey, Aaron, this and this, because Aaron has a history, just like we all have a long history, and she used to be a part of these other communities. And if somebody said, hey, during this other community, I'm like, well, first of all, I wouldn't really care. But if she did something really shady like Katie did, I'd be like, dang, girl, what was up with this? I would try to get her side first, right? Because she's my friend. Never have had to do that, though, because nobody's given me anything. Nobody's given me anything. So I implore these people, I beg them, so to speak, metaphorically, show me what you got. Nunya and nonsense. You keep talking about Aaron, myself, and Vader. What is it of which you speak? And again, I'm really more concerned about myself, but whatever. But yeah, what is it of which you speak? Tell me what it is you are so angry about when it goes to number one. What is it you're getting triggered about? What is it about me that triggers you? I have no idea. And if you don't want to give us reasons for that, then shut the hell up about me. Don't talk about me if you are not willing to give me what your reasons of outrage are. I'm at least doing this, giving my reasons of why I think that nonsense is just vying for UNIRock's position. The king of scummy behavior, the king of trolling has been dethroned. And I think nonsense is vying for that position of UNIBeck or UNIRock 2.0. I do believe that. Because I say you're using his playbook. I don't know why anybody wouldn't think that she's vying to be UNIRock 2.0. And if she's not, then okay, then show us what you got. If you're going to be talking about us, tell us what you're angry about. I will address it. I give you my word. So, you know what? Let me ask my audience real quick. What? I didn't do it. Everyone's having anger. But let me know. But I'm going to ask the audience. Do you guys think nonsense or Nunya will ever tell me directly what is it she's so angry about? What is it that has triggered her? Do you guys think that she actually will? I'm going to vote no. I'm going to tell you right now. I just don't think she will. And we're gonna review or revisit this, I guess you can say, at some point. So let me put this. Will nonsense tell us what she is angry about? Me and or Aaron Veda. All right. Simple poll. I'm just kind of curious. Like I said, I'm going with no, but you guys can vote there. Yeah, April's like, not a chance. Yeah, that's a serious no, right? Yeah, I think there's not a chance as well, because the problem is, as people have noticed, when you start making these accusations, people tend now to ask for evidence, and this is something that Caffeine Corner has so many times explained to people. What trolls hate the most is, show me your receipts, show me your evidence. And it's funny because Nonsense is always talking about receipts, but she never shows any of them. Go back to all my videos when I'm talking about receipts. I've got legal documents. I've got screenshots. I've got recordings. I have clips. Veda and Aaron do the same thing. We bring the evidence. I have legal documents. When I talk about, oh, well, this person said this, it's in a legal document. It's in the court record. That's pretty, heavy evidence. And it's not taken out of context. It's not like twisted. This is their words and this is what they're testifying to. I have evidence like that. So when you make these claims, my response is, okay, what is your evidence on this? And if they don't have any, you're like, well, you have that belief, but you're not convincing anybody. By the way, anybody can have a belief. I don't care. Nonsense can say, hey, you know what? I believe Steve kicks puppies. I believe Aaron, is the most evil of incarnated Satan, Satan incarnate. It doesn't matter. That's all beliefs. I don't care. You can believe whatever you want. You can believe that I deserve to be executed for my positions. I don't care. I think it's egregious when we start putting that out as normative or putting it out as facts. Like, for example, when people say, oh, the government should kill gay people. That's just disgusting. That's just, yeah, you can have the belief that. Don't get me wrong. You're free to believe any toxic thing you want to believe. But as soon as you put that out on the internet, that is your belief and that something you're advocating for, yeah, then I'm going to say that you are not just full of crap, but you're an evil person. I will go after that, right? But just having a belief, anybody can have a belief. We're not the thought police. I don't care what your beliefs are when it comes to that. I don't have to respect them. This BS, what is it? You don't have to respect the person, but you have to respect the belief. Yeah, I don't buy into that. I really don't. So when it comes to Nonsense, all I ask is that if she's going to make these claims, she could provide some kind of reasons and evidence of what the claim actually is. And if she doesn't, she's full of crap. This is how you spot the dishonest people. And now she says it as supposition. I don't care. If she says it as just her opinion, okay, you're watching somebody who's just giving an opinion. I don't care. If Nonsense to say, look, it's my opinion, Steve and Aaron are bad people. Okay. I still would like to know why, but she's under no onus, no under obligation to tell us. But I can't take her seriously. But I think it's pretty telling that if she's saying Steve and Aaron are bad people and never shows any reasons of what it is that we've done so bad, that just tells you she's basically going back to number 1 and number 2, right? And number 3. And she's getting angry over something that just doesn't exist. She's getting easily triggered and feigned outrage and feigned indignation for literally content. Hint, UNIRock 2.0. Hashtag UNIBeck. Okay, so moving on here. I do got to keep this down because I do got to go to work today. Sent my mission fee through PayPal. Oh, you know what? I don't usually keep PayPal up because I'm not PayPal Jason. I'm not UNIRock, but I appreciate donations. Absolutely. If you guys want to become a member of the channel, if you want to leave super chats or say thanks on the comments, absolutely. I appreciate it. So this is $5. Thank you, Booty Shots. She says, enjoy your show, Booty Shots. Thank you. I appreciate that immensely. That was very kind of you, Booty Shots. Thank you. I think that's actually the first PayPal thing that I've had in quite some time. The only person that usually use PayPal is TomTom. TomTom, there's reasons for that, and I really appreciate TomTom doing that. But TomTom38, he likes the PayPal, but I don't normally push my PayPal. I probably should, but like I said, I suck at self promotion. But thank you for that. So thank you for that very much, Booty Shots. All right, moving on here. Number 4, exposure. Becky goes live, misleads, and lies to her subs. Well, that seems to be, again, indicative of the content creators that have very little to offer in ways of education or explaining anything or having any real content. I like doing philosophy stuff. I like doing review videos. I like doing math stuff. I like doing science stuff. I also like doing this kind of stuff, which I think is about critical thinking. But when people like Nonsense go live, all she has, every one of her videos, when I did go to her channel, I looked at all her content. It was all the same stuff. There was no variety whatsoever. Now I get, look, certain channels have go for a niche and it's all about one thing. I understand that, right? If your channel's about, how to make a good knife, yeah, go ahead. Woodworking, it's all whatever your niche is. I get that. But if your niche is just making stuff up by obsessive stalking, getting easily angered, that's not content. I'm sorry. And second of all, anybody can really do that. It's just some people are better at it, but I don't think it takes a real genius to get outraged by something. Oh, grr, I'm angry. I watched a bunch of stuff, and let me tell you how, this has upsetted me by making some fake narrative. Yeah, I mean, anybody could probably do that. But again, I think the people that do it really well, the ones that actually do it, because it's hard to tell, they're making some kind of fake narrative. But, well, booty shots, I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. I always thank my subscribers, my listeners, my mods, my Patreons, my members. I just got Patreon, so if you guys are want to support me on Patreon, I still have Patreon, and I appreciate that very, very much on my Patreons. And I probably don't put enough on my Patreon, like as far as notifications, that I probably should. So if you're a Patreon of mine, call me out of that. I'm happy to start putting these things on Patreon, and I'll do that later on. This particular video I'll put on my Patreon. But I don't make Patreon videos just for Patreons. I know a lot of content creators will do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But everything I have, I want out because I want it out because I want everybody to see it. I don't want some content just for members or just for Patreons. I understand why certain people do, and I get that. It gives them some incentive to get more money and get special privileges, and I totally understand that. It's just not for me. I don't feel comfortable. I've never had a member only video. Well, no, I'm sorry. I never had a member only chat. I had one member only video when it was like a 2-minute trailer for something that I did on a show for the next day. So it's very rare when I even have member only content. But I never had a member only live chat. Nothing against them, but it's just not my thing. I have subscriber only, yes, but that's only because it eliminates some of the people that just come by to just start stuff. TP Seeker says, she said, I heard it through someone who heard it from a friend. BS. Yes. Heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it that you've been messing around. Yeah. Ariel Speedwagon. Was that her Speedwagon? Yeah, I think so. Good music. Yeah, I know I can't sing. I don't care. Deal with it. Good to see you're skipping what other people heard and trying to go straight to the source and attempt to discuss. I appreciate that. Yeah, look, I've already said I'll have discussion with Nonsense and the Good Nunya. Bring it on. What do you got? I'm not scared of either one of them. If you think that I've done something wrong, bring it to me. Let's go toe to toe. I'm totally cool with this. They won't do it. They won't do it with me nor Aaron. So. Oh, it was a non sequitur opening video. That's what it was. Thank you. See, my mods remember stuff. They're like my pocket brain. I don't have to recall things as much because I get old and forgetful and probably senile. But I have my mods; they remember everything. So, and that's funny because some of like UNIRock's mods, they remember everything too, and they co-sign off on everything. And then when the heat got too much, the mods left. Now, that's the third or fourth time. Look, my mods have left before too. Don't get me wrong, but they left under really silly reasons, and they didn't have all the facts, and they realized that later on. Well, some of them may have that. Yes, I was telling the truth all along. Shocker, I know, but I don't. I like I said, Jesus forgives. I don't, and I couldn't care less at that point. If people are watching videos on critical thinking and they don't imply it, that's weird. But yeah, UNIRock has had exoduses of mods before, but he's okay with that because it goes back to the culling and cultivating he does. He gets rid of the people that know too much. I don't do that. I have people that have been on my channel for 10 years. Many of them, most of them at least 5 years or more. Tom I've known forever and a day. OnlyFans, Steve. OnlyFans. Yes. I'm going to do some ankle stuff on OnlyFans. William Peterson for $10 says, you will lose your mind if you keep asking why crazies are attracted to the attention of the internet and why they do awful things. I agree. There is no logic to these situations other than narcissistic supply. I agree. I think, and well, marginally agree. They also do it for vape juice and donos, right? I think a lot of them do it for both of them. UNIRock is greedy. It's not just for attention. He does it for vape juice and donos. I don't know nonsense this thing. I don't think she's in a position where she really needs that much money. It doesn't seem like it. So I think she does it for her narcissistic supply. But I don't think it's a money oriented thing for her. Even like Katie Joy. Like Katie Joy, I know people give me grief for this when I say that I don't think Katie Joy really does it for the money itself. I think she does it for what the money brings, which is power, which is, the ability to do things. Because we all know she spends money on deep diving people and getting records of people. We all know she spends money on luxury items to make herself feel better about herself. Gets a new car, gets a new refrigerator. She has to tell the entire world, look, I bought this refrigerator with my subscribers' money, even though, I should be spending it on my family maybe or this. And she has this, and she'll always use it to say she's using it for her family. I bought this really amazing $80,000 car for my kid. But it's all about her. It's all about to feed her narcissistic supply. She wants people to think that she's better than anybody else. She's the definitive archetype of what a Karen would be. So what I think when it comes to people like, Katie Joy, it's not for the money directly. It is what the money brings. What allows her to do. Especially when people are suing her, because she has spent a lot of money on legal fees. But when it comes to nonsense, I think it is probably just more for the attention than anything else. I think she just loves the attention, and she's got a little bit of popularity by doing, what I consider to be basal content, fruit on the ground content that has no educational value, no probative value. She's not like some of the other content creators in the commentary community that actually do some actual legwork, such as, Allie, True Sleuth, or EKC. She doesn't do any of that. None of it. So I think it's just the fact that she's getting a little bit of attention because she's going after soft targets. Because, let's be realistic. Aaron and I, Veda, Tina, other people, there's been a long history, especially with me. Yeah, I know you guys, I know you guys going to be surprised to hear this, but there are a lot of people on the internet that don't like me. I don't know why either. I don't. Actually, I do. Yeah, I don't. They don't like me because I don't like them, because I don't think they're good people. And they've tried to smear me forever and run these crazy narratives. And then they'll take what I say and they just amplify it 10 times differently than what I meant it by, because they want to take it out of context and think I'm some kind of horrible person. Whatever. I don't deal with those people. I don't care what they have to think. I've lost all care what those people think of me on the internet. I just don't care. And somebody will say, well, Steve, didn't you sue Katie Joy for defamation or try to? Yeah, but that was years ago when, I had a lot more of a following, a lot more income coming from the internet. And so my reputation was a very important thing. And she was trying to defame me on that. I mean, now I work full time and I've reached the point where I don't care what anybody thinks. I just don't, except for my friends. I mean, I care what my friends and my followers and my subscribers think, and I will listen to them. But as far as like the haters, why would I give a damn what they think? I don't. They've already been disproved so many times. I mean, how many times can they run narratives for 5, 4, 3, 2 years, whatever the narrative of their choice is? They've gone on about it. It's like so overplayed. Nobody cares. Steve did this. Steve did that 4 or 5 years ago. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. William Peterson, $5. If only she redistributed her fridge and car budget to an attorney, that wasn't ridiculous. Agreed. Yeah, no, I had first-hand experience with her lawyer. I can tell you right now, he didn't know what the hell he was doing. My lawyer was appalled. My lawyer was just like, this guy is ridiculous. I even asked my other lawyer on the Non Sequitur show, can you give me, your opinion on this? Can you kind of like, let me know what you think, because this makes no sense to me. He's like, yeah, this is, I don't want to know. I don't remember his exact wording, but yeah, he wasn't impressed. That I can say. He definitely wasn't impressed. And why is my view count not working on my video? It's stuck. It's been stuck. I don't know. Let me see here. Does that refresh it? Let me refresh that. Yeah, there we go. It's been stuck for a while. Again, not a lot of views, but I don't expect that. But that's okay. The people that do watch, you'll learn something, hopefully. That's the whole goal. Booty Shaw says, I've heard rumors, but I never believe anything anymore. Pancakes have two sides. Yeah, and it's usually the side that you want to look at that is most appealing. And the ones that are appealing are the ones that have the evidence. But thank you for that, William Peterson. I appreciate that. All right. So again, the exposure. So Becky will go live and she'll talk for hours on these particular anger things that she has with people. How she's so I'm trying to think of the term she uses, that she's so privileged to be able to go after these people, and she's so amazing at going after grifters and scam artists and all these other things. And by the way, I've heard that she's actually had some content a long time ago about going after some actual stuff, and maybe she did, maybe she didn't, I don't know. Somebody says, use your power for good. Somebody had told me about nonsense. I'm like, okay, if she has that ability, then why is she using it to do that? Why is she going after people that she knows nothing about just for content? Like mentioning my name or Veda or Aaron or Molly Golightly even. I mean, again, I know Molly Golightly has probably done some pretty, questionable stuff, but the obsession level that she had with her is crazy. Just crazy. And that she does mislead and lies to her sub. I mean, Aaron and Nonsense points out. We see Aaron and Veda has pointed out these nonsense, these lies by Nonsense. And Aaron just had a video today, I think it was, where Nonsense had said one thing and then 2 seconds later she said another. Yeah, there was a video clip I just watched of Nonsense saying that she never said there was like 18 content creators going after somebody, and then one clip she's like, oh, there's 18 YouTube channels going after her or something. But it's just one contradiction after another. And so what was Aaron's video today though? I'm trying to think what I may remember this. Why I have my live chat out there. There was something today that Aaron pointed out that showed that Becky had said something and then completely was it the 18 content creators? I think it was, maybe. I don't know. But you challenge the Nonsense on any of this stuff. You say, hey, now Nonsense, you got your facts wrong. Like, she was saying the other day that Aaron was involved in a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, Aaron wasn't even around back then. How was she? How is it that Aaron was involved in this when Aaron wasn't even around? So, okay, so I gotta keep going here really fast. So arrogance, number 5. Becky believes she's superior and fuels her own narcissism. That's oh my! Every single thing I've ever seen from Becky is she thinks she's better than anybody else. She has this opinion of herself that she is so smart and so well educated, which I don't think she has any education or anything, but she's so able to just look at something and see the situation for what it is. And she'll explain it to you where you'll understand it. And yet everybody who I know that watches her comes away more confused than when they started. She never seems to be able to get to a point. It's like, okay, hey, Aaron, what is she talking about? I don't know. It's like, seriously, there's no cohesive story there. There's no cohesion between 1, 2, 3, and 4 here on the cycle of nonsense. There's nothing that relates them all together because she just doesn't have any evidence or information about what she's talking about. And it's kind of funny that Penelope's Lane put these arrows in here with a little break between 1, 2, 3, and 4. I obviously know that wasn't intentional, but it does show there's just nothing that links these things together ever with her. But she does think to herself that she is just so brilliant in her commentary, that she's just fighting the good fight, and she's just calling out scummy behavior and evil behavior. And she co-signed off on everything that UNIRock and Katie Joy were doing for how long? Nonsense. The good Nunya was doing the same thing. And then she's throwing them under the bus when she no longer, wants to use their content, and because she was riding off their coattails for a while. But do you guys get that opinion that she has this very haughty opinion of herself, very high and mighty, that she is just the queen's bee, so to speak? No, bad pun, because there's a queen bee out there. But the bee's knees, I guess you can say, of the internet, of how great she is at explaining how bad certain people are. But again, when you go ask her, okay, what is it that these people have done in a step-by-step? Can you just give me an argument? I would love for somebody to just say, okay, premise 1, premise 2, premise 3, etc., conclusion. And then see if there's a rule of inference there. if the premises are sound. If you go read my paper, it is logic. It is a valid argument that I use using, relatively basic logic. And so that's what I want to see from her. Okay, Steve is a mean poopy head. Premise 1, premise 2, premise 3. Or, hey, Steve did this unethical behavior. Here's the evidence for it. Where is it? Because I've never once seen her ever show anybody what is it that I've done. What is it that Aaron has done? There might be stuff that you don't agree with. Oh, well, Steve had this person on his channel. Aaron, read this report. Who cares? Those are your opinions. That doesn't matter. I don't care if you think I'm a bad person for who I have on my channel. Couldn't give a rat's ass. If you claim that I did something unethical, I want a little more detail, because that's not unethical. What Aaron did completely wasn't unethical. Matter of fact, it was the antithesis of unethical. What she did was she was trying to expose Katie Joy for absolutely lying about a police officer. That's not unethical. That is very ethical. And if you think I've done something criminal even, that's even worse, right? If you think I've gone in real life, let me know, because I've heard that narrative too. What is it I've done? I've never called CPS. I've never called the police on anybody. I've never filed anything that wasn't absolutely true that I didn't verify multiple times. Whenever I got an affidavit from my lawyer, because he wrote all my stuff, I triple checked it. I found any little thing that I thought was not absolutely correct. Not saying that things don't creep in, but I think I was very thorough. And that's when people go back and they look at the court records and they go, oh, look, yeah, this is what Steve said, and that's the evidence. It's there. But nonsense doesn't do that. She doesn't have this step-by-step progression of her arguments. And this is why she probably rambles for 6 hours incoherently. Unfriendly atheist. Wrong video for that, but I'm going to read it anyways. But he says, bro, you said to look at the encyclopedia for a definition of atheism. The encyclopedia was written by Christians, so it's skewed. That's funny. Daniel Cooper, here's a good argument. Premise 1, Steve is a mean poopy head. Premise 2, see premise 1. Steve is a mean poopy head. That is valid. That is valid. It is circular, but it's still valid. Circular reasoning is still valid reasoning, believe it or not. I know a lot of people that don't understand logic don't get that. And again, I just have a very, very basic understanding of logic, but sufficient enough to at least, write a paper on it. But it's very, very basic. This is level. I've heard it's like level 300 logic. It's nothing that complicated. But yeah, that is valid. All right. But circular reasoning is an informal fallacy, not a formal fallacy. So it would be P implies Q, therefore P. That's valid. Now, is it sound? Well, if the premise 1 is true, then it's sound. I don't think I'm a mean poopy head. So I'm going to say it's not sound because I'm not a mean poopy head. But other people might say, hey, Steve's a mean poopy head. That's just valid and sound. So when it comes to soundness of an argument, yeah, there's some subjectivity there, right? Because it's if you assume the premises are true, which you should. You always should assume the premises are true in an argument. I know a lot of people, again, they don't know logic, don't get that, but all premises in an argument are submitted arguendo that they're true unless you have a reason to doubt them. That's how an actual argument works. You don't prove an assumption. A lot of people have said, oh, Steve didn't prove his premises, therefore his paper's wrong. You're an idiot. A lot of people will also say, oh, in other people's arguments, oh, well, premise 1 is conditional. So what? Oh, premise 1 hasn't been demonstrated. So what? In an argument, premises are assumed true unless you have a reason to say they're false. Now, I will say the premise 1 is false because I'm actually a really nice guy. I'm not mean. I'm very, very nice. And I don't think I'm a poopy head. But arguendo, if you want to think that I'm a poopy head, mean, then that would be valid and sound. But I'm a poopy head because I'm a poopy head, which is, if I was a poopy head, I would be a poopy head because I'm a poopy head, which is circular. Yes, it is circular. All right, so again, there's arrogance here. There's a sense of she's so amazing in her content by just rattling on about people that she knows nothing about, and people buy into it. Okay, if that's how you get your rocks off, if that's your kink, go for it, man. I don't care. What I care about is why does she keep using my name? Everybody keeps telling me she's talking about you. Here's a clip where she mentions your name, and I'm like, why though? I've never talked to this woman. I know very little, if anything, about her. I couldn't care less about her. But I do see this cycle of nonsense every time I do see her come up. Misty, oh my God, I got the notification on Twitter. You asked me to notify you directly on Twitter or Facebook, and I did. Matter of fact, Misty, why is it you don't have a wrench? Maybe that would help you get notifications. Why is it? Yeah, that's weird. You should have a wrench. Yeah, there you go. Sorry about that. My oversight. Misty, you should have a wrench. Absolutely have a wrench. Daniel's like, it was in jest. I don't think you're a poopy yet. I know. I appreciate it. But it is valid. All right, so yeah, do you guys notice that as well? That Becky just thinks she's the bee's knees. Yeah. So, all right. So this is a little bit harder to read here, and hopefully you guys can see it. But if you can't, it's in the bottom left. Exposure steps. This is going back to number 4, and I skipped this because I wanted to do the circle first. But this is her steps on how she does her exposure, how she goes live, misleads, and lies to her subs. Number 1, makes a statement. Okay. For example, like let's say she makes the statement, "Oh, Steve and Aaron have done some really shady stuff." Okay. Number 2, tell you she's going to show you proof. Okay. She's like, "Hey, Steve and Aaron have done some shady stuff. I'm going to show you what that is." Number 3, tells you what you will see or hear. You'll see Steve and Aaron do some shady stuff. Number 4, shows something out of context that is not what she just said. I'm not going to give you specifics on that. I'm just using this as hypothetical. But I'm sure that anything she's ever said that or shown that Aaron and I have done some shady stuff is out of context. It's clearly we've never done some shady stuff. So anything she has to be wrong. Because if she had actual evidence of shady stuff, I guarantee it, other people would be using it. Other people like blasted all over the place. But they're not. Why is it just people like UNIRock and Nonsense seem to have all this evidence of people doing shady stuff when if they actually did do shady stuff, everybody would know about this? Look what happened with UNIRock. UNIRock did some shady stuff. UNIRock involved a mother and their children in a LARP of his, a live action role play, and I think Nonsense does that as well. This live action role playing stuff, but he involved somebody in that. That's shady. That's something that everybody got together and said, no, you know what? Even the diehard trolls that love troll content, they're like, nope, we're out, we're done. We'll go find another overlord to go be their flying monkey too. But this is the exposure steps that I guess she's learned from UNIRock and from Katie Joy, because they all seem to be doing that same exact playbook. UNIRock's the king of that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he'll sit there and this is the whole reason why UNIRock was basically canceled, was because he had told Queen Bee, hey, I have a letter from this person, JLR, and it mentions you, and I need to get a hold of you, and I need to like warn you about this. But it's kind of found out that he lied about the entire thing. It was just a cease and desist. There was no handwritten letter. It was not to his mom. It was just sent to his mom's location so he could get it. The only mention of Queen Bee was in the title of the video that JLR wanted removed and had some defamational content supposedly, and he sensationalized it all for clicks and views. Come over to my channel and watch for 6 hours. This is what Nonsense does. She never gets to her point because she has no point to make and no evidence to back up that point. Missy says she'll make an argument and then use a ton of filler words as well as twisting sentences by the time people have overlooked the questionable things. And that's something that I noticed came from UNIRock too. UNIRock will say, hey, look, come over to my channel. I'll show you the evidence. And then 6 hours later go, hey, look, we're out of time. I'm going to go play a video game. I'll get to it next week. How many times did he say he had an expose coming up that he never showed? How many times did he say he had evidence of me doing something that he never showed? Never once did he have evidence for anything. It was always, oh, I'll show you next week. Or, it's somewhere in my video. Go watch it. Go watch the 6-hour video. It's somewhere in there. And then people like Aaron and other people go, wait a minute here. I sat through most of this and I didn't hear a word about any of this. I didn't see anything on the evidence. And even his own subscribers like, you didn't show any evidence. And then he's like, oh, I did. Okay, timestamp. Doesn't exist. Then he starts gaslighting them, saying, I showed the evidence. Okay, but where? If you show the evidence, you should be able to point. Here's the timestamp. Here's where I showed it. I mean, if you go to Aaron's video, I guarantee you look at timestamps of when she showed evidence from legal documents, when she showed the evidence of the cease and desist letter from JLR. because it's there in perpetuity. It's there. You can go look. But nobody could point out where Nonsense had any evidence for anything. Nobody could say, hey, she showed the evidence here, because she did. When I asked the question, what is it that she's accusing us of and what is her evidence for it? Nobody's got anything. They got bumpkiss. They're like, okay, yeah. First of all, they don't even know what the hell she thinks we've done. And second of all, they know she's never produced any evidence for it. The only thing I think I've heard her say that we've done is, I think, dox people, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But where's the evidence for that? Dash X says, I'm behind, but I have many thoughts. I spent the weekend decompressing and thinking about the whole situation and what I think is going on. It's wild. Yeah, Dash. It is really wild what's been going on. Unfriendly Anthony says, I'm ignorant here, but whoever she is, she's projecting. You know this. Yeah, and this is the funniest thing about people that project. I have a law that I coined. It's called Katie's Law. Katie's Law clearly is a law about Katie Joy Paulson, a.k.a. without a crystal ball. But the law is this. It applied to Katie, obviously, but generally speaking, that if Katie Joy Paulson accused you of doing something, either she has done that before or most likely have done that before. It's something she's done. That's Katie's Law. If she's accused you of tax fraud, she's probably committed tax fraud. If she's committed fraud, she's probably committed fraud. If she says you have bought subs, she's probably bought subs. If she has accused you of lying to your subscribers, she's lied to her subscribers. If she claims that whatever it is, if you've lied on your taxes, she's lied on her taxes. It's almost inevitable that either she has done what she has accused other people of, or is highly probabilistically the case that she has. That's projection. That's one thing I noticed from Katie. That's where Katie gets a lot of her ideas from, is things that she's done herself. If she says, oh, this person has a lot of sock accounts, she has a lot of sock accounts. Right? I mean, it's just mind-blowing that everything she's ever accused somebody of, it seems like she's done herself. Because I don't think she's very original. She doesn't create her own narrative, so to speak, out of thin air. She drives it from real-life stories. Because she gets these stories and she includes herself into the story. She ingratiates herself with the people in that story and involves herself and makes that story part of her life. If somebody had this happen to them, it's happened to her. Think about this. Just go back. Just listen to anything Katie's ever said about some of these stories. When they talk about, this happened in my childhood. Oh, I had this experience. Magically, Katie has had this happen in her childhood. Magically, she's had this experience at which she can relate to the person. Yeah. I mean, I think most of us realize this, but it's really wild to think about. As Jasex would say, it's wild because she just becomes part of the story. She did it with No Longer Quivering with Suzanne. Right? She did the exact same thing. She took what her story was and made it her own. Mind-blowing. Anyways, I got to wrap this up. I do have to go to work, so I'm going to basically stream for another 5 minutes. That way it's easily digestible. It'll be an hour and 15 minutes, which I think is easily watched even at normal speed. So you don't make me sound like a chipmunk. I've never been a mod before, so I accidentally hit a button. Please forgive me. You can't accidentally really hit anything. I mean, you can try to time somebody out and get friendly fire, and time out the wrong person. That has happened, but don't worry about it. You'll be fine, Misty. I appreciate everything you've ever done and all your support. Misty has been so kind to me on Twitter, along with some other people that have been saying some very nice things. Don't think that it doesn't mean a lot to me, because it really, 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 really does. You can definitely see that it affects me, and I don't want to ugly cry on camera. Okay, but it really, I have no words to even express when people start saying these nice things about me, realizing that I've been telling the truth all along. It's endearing. It's a good feeling. It really is, because the people that will never have the truth, the people that subscribed to UNIRock and nonsense, the people that sign off on their behaviors and they're doing this cycle of nonsense and these playbooks that they have to go after and attack people with no provocation, no reason, and just fabricate stuff on them and claim they've done things that people didn't do, which I think, again, originated specifically from UNIRock and Katie Joy. They're never going to figure this out. The mods that have left UNIRock, the original ones, yeah, many of them were actually some decent people. moderate extremist, was a very decent guy. And they, they only hung on because they wanted to believe UNIRock, but they were questioning things. I have no problem with that. I was a mod for UNIRock one time too, but I was really quick when I started questioning things. They go, dude, yeah, you're lying here. And I couldn't be around that. So, I can't be hypocritical by saying, oh, anybody who was a mod for UNIRock is a crap person, right? But question things, question people. And that's what his original mod started doing. And then his secondary mods started questioning them, the mods that came later on. And so after people started questioning, which is something we talk about a lot on Caffeine Corner, ask for evidence, question, they were smart. And they're like, nope, you're a liar, dude. I respect them. But the people that stood all this time by him, they're dishonest people. They're only jumping ship because they need to go find somebody else where the pressure isn't as high. That the hot water that UNIRock is in, they don't want to get scalded by. That's the only reason. Don't think they've had this come to Jesus moment. Don't think for a second that Navy Text or Holy Spackle or any of them, Nerd Angle, any of them had a come to Jesus moment. Nope. They're the same dishonest, disreputable instigators and trolls they've always been. But it just got too hot for them. I mean, look at the way they treated Aaron. Look at the way they treated Tina. They lied about them. It's not just me. They lied about them just as much. Did all of a sudden they become good people because they're disassociating themselves from UNIRock? No, they've known all along his behavior. They co-signed off on it. So I have no forgiveness for them and never will. Some of them are known for 5 people. I've known for 5 years they were shady people. So, all right. So that kind of wraps up the cycle of nonsense. Let's go back to the vote here. Oh, I had a member. Booty Shots, welcome to New Hole. Yay, Booty Shots, a new hole. I might have to change the name of these membership levels. I'm sorry. Sorry. I don't know, man. I find it really weird to say New Hole, but whatever. I don't even remember why I came up with that. Why did I have New Hole? What is that even from? I don't remember. Maybe my mods can remember for me. New Hole. There's a reason why I had my levels. I'm going to go back and look at them. But TB Seeker says, keep that hip, Steve. Thank you. I got kicked for asking questions on Uni's channel. Oh, shocker. Shocker, April. What? Say it isn't so. All right, so on my vote, it says, will Nonsense tell us that she is angry about me and or Aaron or Veda? 12% yes, 88% no out of 33 votes. Yeah, I think that's pretty telling. Again, not scientifically accurate. Don't claim they are, but it gives maybe a decent indication. But we will revisit it. I will check back in a few days, maybe a week. I don't know. It could be just a couple days, and see on this vote is if it's correct that Nonsense and Nunya did not ever once tell any of you what the hell Aaron, myself, or even Veda have ever done. Just curious. And if they have said what we have done, show the evidence for that, because I will address it. I don't like making these back and forth videos. This is what UNIRock wanted, right? He wanted this situation where he would lie to his subscribers. I would make a video calling him out, then he would call me out, and we'd go back and forth. I would have all the evidence like I did with the non sequitur showcase, and I would always be the one putting out all this evidence and jump through all these hoops, and he would just sit back and try to quote, debunk them and show what a mean poopy head I was. And I'm like, I'm not interested in that. I'm not going to waste my time with that. I want to go after people that literally, are causing harm to people and or have these false beliefs. And with UNIRock, it was just him trolling. He didn't believe any of this stuff. He just trolls. Nonsense, I think, just trolls to some degree. I think she's absolutely a troll. But do I think that maybe deep down she has some of these core beliefs? Maybe. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say that maybe she does have this belief that, Aaron and I are just horrible people. Okay, I think that's not a big thing to grant her. Let's say she legitimately thinks that way. Probably does. Tell me why. Grow up, get a pair of cojones, put on your big boy pants, treat me like an adult, and show me what you got that I have done anything wrong or Aaron has done anything wrong. And I don't mean just opinion. I don't mean like, Steve, had this person on this channel or Steve did this. I mean, show me what I've done to Katie Joy that was so horrible. Show me what I've done to UNIRock that was so horrible. Show me when I've ever gone in real life other than, again, suing somebody, which is obviously something if anybody can do for recourse. But show me what I've done that was a lie. There you go. Show me anything that I or Aaron have lied about anything. Because I guarantee it, I hate to say this, But if I lied about something, Erin would be all over that. Yeah, she thrives on that kind of stuff. There's no loyalty there. Are you kidding me? Erin would be like, oh, I got some juice on Steve. I got the goods. Yeah. No, what's funny as a kid, but she would come to me first, obviously. I think because we have such a strong friendship that she would ask me about it first, and then based upon my responses, she would go live and say, yeah, look, I do think Steve's lying. And I'd be like, okay. I'd be like, I disagree with you, but, at least I could talk about it. But she would come to me first, right? And I would have the same respect for her. So, someone else says Steve actually tries to fix his mistakes and doesn't try to make money off them. Absolutely. I've always said, look, show me I'm wrong with something, I'll correct it. I'll give you a perfect example before I log off here. I'll do it for 2 more minutes. On my paper that I wrote on Academia.edu, there was some issues long ago. There's been many, revisions. And it was because people read my paper, understood it, and said, I think you mean this. It wasn't that my argument was wrong. It's just I used the wrong symbol, said the wrong word. And I'm like, damn, you're right. And what I did was I went back and fixed it. And it just happened just recently. There was one word that somebody who has a PhD in some subject, Dr. Pritchett, had said it before my interview on Dr. Braxton Hunter's channel on Trinity Radio. They had invited me on to talk about my paper. Before the stream, he's like, hey, Steve, I read your paper. It's great. But I think this one word, I think you mean this other word. And it was a simple mistake. It was, I said subcontrary, and I should have said subalteration. Now, most of you, no offense, probably wouldn't have caught that. And I understand that it's just not your shtick. But since he understood logic and philosophy, he understood the paper well enough to know that this is the word that I meant. And so I was like, yeah. And I fixed it. Because I always said, if you find an error in my paper, I'll fix it. I apply the same standard that I have on my YouTube channel. If you find that I made a mistake, I'm happy to correct it. That doesn't make me a bad guy for making a mistake. We all make mistakes. Nobody's freaking perfect, man. We have thousands of videos. We talk for hours. We cover a lot of coverage on many, many topics. Nobody's going to get everything right. Nobody. None of us have the ability to do that. We're going to have mistakes. We're going to have errors in our commentaries, in our beliefs. But when people give us reasons to change our beliefs, they give us evidence, just says, hey, Steve, you're wrong on this. And it's mostly objectively cases, right? If it's just a subjective case and somebody says, hey, Steve, I think you're wrong on this as a subjective thing. Yeah, that's tentative, right? It's like, you have your opinion, I have my opinion. But if you say, hey, Steve, you said 1 + 1 = 3 when 1 + 1 = 2, that's an objective fact of the matter. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I messed up. If I say something like, I think the last time, it said something about the Union Jack, right? And the Brits over there were like, hey, Steve, the Union Jack is only with the British flags flying on a ship, naval ship. And I was like, dang, I didn't know that. That's cool. I was corrected on that. Anyways, yeah, so I will correct it. It's definitely not for clicks and views or money. However, this is something I do for secondary income. This is true. I have a primary income. I got to go to work here. But I love doing this stuff. And yes, the money from the secondary income goes to frivolous things, basically. I'm not going to front and go, well, food's not frivolous. I spend a lot of money on food, more than I probably should, because I especially like my roommate, she is finicky. Listen, I think is that a good word to use, finicky? Cano. Oh my God, she has these headphones. Would you say you're finicky?
Yeah. Hell no, I'm not a dog.
No, finicky. No, that's me.
I'm not a dog.
No, I just mean that you're picky and you certain foods you prefer, like the better quality ones.
You know I'm picky.
Yeah, you're picky. Yeah, that's finicky. Same thing.
I'm not a dog.
Okay, fine.
Don't dog.
All right. But you're picky, right? You're picky. Yeah. Yeah. She's very picky in what she eats. So when I go to the store and I screwed up the other day. I'm running really long here, and I do got to get going. But we like creamer in our coffee because this relates to Caffeine Corner, and so I had gotten the hazelnut when we really like the French vanilla and the caramel macchiato or caramel. But for some reason, the label for the caramel and the hazelnut look very similar, and I just got the hazelnut. And she's like, "You're out of here. You're done. Get out." And I said, "No." She said,
"And you still got the wrong one."
I got caramel.
Yeah, but you got the wrong name brand.
Oh, see, I got I got the wrong name brand. I can't wait. She's not picky or finicky. She's not a dog. Delight.
It's the one. Because it's more creamier than coffee.
I'll get that next time. I can't win, right? But yeah, so anyways, my secondary income goes to the fact that yes, we do like some of the better stuff, and it goes to entertainment. She's going out. Where are you going tonight?
Going to the movies tonight.
Oh, she's going to the movies. We go to Applebee's. So like I said, if you become a member of the channel, you subscribe to the channel, you give any thanks on the comment section, the super thanks, or any donations or PayPal, anything like that, I will tell you right now, it's all going to non-necessity stuff. At least I'm honest with that. It's not vape juice, it's not Red Bull, but it is mostly just fun stuff, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, and I appreciate it. I really do. I really sincerely thank everybody who's ever donated to me. I am not one of those content creators that thinks that anybody's obligated to donate or give anything, because you're not. I think that if you're entertained, then or educated, then yes, I do like to give back. Aveda last night. I'm very happy to give her some fundage because she has spent hours doing research and reading. And I hate to use research, it's maybe a little bit much, but I mean, she's done a lot of hours of watching stuff and evaluating and making content on that. And I like to get back on that. So I'm not a hypocrite. I definitely like to subscribe to channels and give them super chats and things of that nature, because it is time consuming and it's a lot of effort, but it's just a little acknowledgement that, hey, we like your content. I think that's more than anything else. When I see a green name like Booty Shots, became a member, when I see that green, it means that somebody really did like what I had to say. And people can argue, well, that feeds Steve's narcissist. Steve's a narcissist. It's getting his narcissist supply. No, what it is I'm proud of what I do. I'm proud of the additions I've added to the dialogue, what I've talked about over the years on many different channels, on many different shows. I'm proud of that. I said nothing wrong with that. That's not narcissist. That just means that I'm very, very happy that I have the opportunity to be able to speak on these topics, because a lot of people don't have a platform to do that. They just don't. They don't have a voice. And I love people giving people a voice. So with that, I mean, I don't want to get all sentimental and stuff. And I got to finish my coffee before I go to work. I got to get dressed here in a few minutes. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for letting me talk to you about the cycle of nonsense. Let me know what you think in the comments section. I love to hear your opinions. I won't be able to get back to them until, again, after work tonight. Most of the stuff isn't filtered. I do have obviously some filters, but for the most part, it's pretty much whatever you say, I'm going to try to address. I just have certain filters for trolls, but if you're new to the channel especially, I want to hear what you have to say, what you think. Okay? With that, I will let you guys get back to your wonderful day today. Thank you for my mods. Thank you for my subscribers. Thank you for my Patreons. Thank you for my members. And thank you all just for watching. Bye-bye. Oops, wrong button. Good night, guys.